Like Jessica is a master at efficiency. She goes, if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to go 100% and just get it done. And so, like, I would say you probably get more done in 4 hours than most people do in 10 or 12 because
Yeah.
you have your systems in place, you have your checklist, you know exactly what needs to get done, and you don't get sidetracked.
Welcome to the LO Code Podcast, where we talk about everything from marketing to just general loan bullshit.
Hey everyone, today on the LO Code Podcast, we are going to be talking about productivity.
Yes, my favorite.
I don't think so. And I'm kind of doing this to call people out a little bit.
Me?
Well, no, not just you, but a lot of people come to us, kind of in a mentorship type of way. And when you ask them, like, what is your production like? What are you doing? You see very quickly that they have to be unproductive in some space. It'll be how many loans do you do? 1 to 2 a month. Okay, well, are you doing this, this, and this for marketing? No, I don't have time. Well, I don't want to be a jerk, but if you're doing 1 to 2 loans a month and you're not meeting realtors, you're not hosting classes, you're not doing these things, what are you doing? What are you doing with your time?
Researching on TikTok for video ideas does not count as work.
I mean, I do that every day.
But during work time.
During work time, I mean, I have a specific time of day where I take about 30 minutes, drink my coffee, I'll scroll socials, and I'll save ideas.
See, yeah, and I only do this at night because I will eventually get sucked down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I just I try not to do that during the workday, but I kind of interjected there, so.
Yeah, but it's so much further than that. Like, these are the people that are in Facebook groups all day that aren't, they're not building anything. Are you wasting your time?
Yeah.
So
Bullshitting does not count as working.
Bullshitting does not count.
People say it's networking, but
yeah. So
if the results aren't there, is it working?
Is it working? Yes. Okay. Is it working? So I really wanted to just take the time because I have to do it too. I have to reflect on what I'm spending my time on because I don't like to waste time. Is what I'm doing, causing me to gain business or not? Mm-hmm. I can't, nobody's working 40 hours a week and doing 2 loans a month unless they are doing all of the other things to build their business.
Right.
But that's not.
It does not take 40 hours to actually get
not
2 loans through.
Seen that be the case. So that's what I wanted to talk about today.
So from the people that you've talked
productive.
to that aren't reaching their goals and say they're too busy, have they explained what they think they're too busy with?
Oh, a lot of them just shut down. So okay, well, tell me what your day looks like. Well, it's answering emails and all the basic things that we do for a job. And that does take time, but it does not take 8 hours a day. And I called you out on it, actually. So Ryan was doing loans for 2 years before I got into it. And, we were running the gym still. I had a new baby at home. And he was gone for 10, 12 hours a day. And then, a couple of years later after I joined, and we're doing 10, 20 loans a month. And I'm running everything app to close. I'm the processor. I'm the LOA. And I'm like, wait, what the hell were you doing for 10 hours a day back then? And he's like, yeah, I wasn't.
You know what a lot of it
really
was?
Working.
Analysis paralysis.
Yes. So how many people spend 10 hours thinking about something
what
that
they're
takes
going
10 minutes
to do?
Yeah, it takes 10 minutes to just do it. And I think that fear has such a big, part in that space where I do it. I get stuck and I have all of these ideas and I never execute them. So how much time am I wasting coming up with these ideas, writing them down, planning on how I'm going to play it out, but then I never take action on it.
Right.
And I actually take a lot of action. So think about the people that aren't taking the action. How much time are you wasting? Mm-hmm. And then another thing too is that if you are spending that much time doing just a couple of loans, there might be something wrong with your processes. So I would just take a look at that.
Yes. Like Jessica is a master at efficiency. She goes, if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to go 100% and just get it done. And so, I would say you probably get more done in 4 hours than most people do in 10 or 12 because
Yeah.
you have your systems in place, you have your checklist, you know exactly what needs to get done, and you don't get sidetracked.
Yeah, I put my brain in that space. And you do it too with like if you're creating a video or something, you put yourself in that space and you don't allow there to be any interruptions. So while
But for
I might
me, let's stop real quick. But for me, it's hard for me to start a lot of times because I'm in that analysis phase, and then
Yeah.
I'm building up what I have to do, and then I don't want to do it, or I'm afraid of doing it, or it's
feels
new.
overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
But then once I start it, and after the first 5 minutes, I'm in the zone, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. I just knocked that whole thing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people just build up like what it is they have to do to a huge, huge mountain they have to climb when really it's just a hill.
Break it down into one day. If you're overwhelmed by coming up with a 30-day social media campaign and all the different posts that you need to do, figure out what you can do today. And just take it one day at a time until you get yourself more comfortable with it, and then you can do those things.
And if you're like me, who doesn't enjoy the actual process of doing loans, then your whole goal is how do I get enough business to be able to not have to do that?
Yeah.
And for me, I was hiring people and I was paying, part of my BIPs to them to do that almost from the beginning. You came in and you kind of watched just an overview.
I was assisting at that time.
You were just in there just to kind of see, like, I think you just wanted to see what the hell I was doing and why I was so unproductive. And
well, things were falling. I could see that, like, just based on your phone conversations when you were at home, I'm like, why is this even to a point where this is a problem?
so you would literally just follow me around
Yeah.
and just watch what other people are doing. And you're like, oh God, I could do this so much. I don't even know how to do that stuff, but I could do it so much better. And you weren't wrong. Within
No.
30 days, you knew exactly how to get everything structured the way that you want and systemized it, so we were able to push so much more through, which freed up my time, which allowed me to go out and put 100% effort into marketing.
Yeah.
So anyone that's watching this, if you want to be the face and you want to bring in the business, then you need to either hire somebody to do the process part, all of it, or you need to bring on a partner that does that, and vice versa. If you don't want to be the face, you need to bring on somebody that is willing to be the face, and you can manage all the back end. And that's where we excel. You don't want to be the face. You don't want to be the front runner. You don't want to have to
Still
go
like
out there.
The face half the time.
Well, that's because people like seeing you, not because you want to. You don't want to do
Well,
that.
no, because so this is a type A control freak problem that I have is I'm watching Ryan do things and I'm like, I can say this better. Hold on. What if I do this with you? And then we'll talk like this. We can bounce things up. And then it actually did work out well. So, but I'm not in everything all the time.
Right. But I really do think people get hung up in like, well, if I bring on a partner, I'm losing 50%. But what if that 50% is so much greater than the small little 100% that you're doing right now?
That's one of the biggest mistakes that I made during the refi boom. We did try to hire assistants, and it didn't quite work out the way that we wanted to.
Don't hire friends or family.
Don't hire
unless
friends or family.
it's just a perfect fit.
But if I would have, put more time and even just gone more on the front end with you and had taught people my streamlined version of everything, how much more money could we have made? But at the time we were saving for a house, I was being a penny pincher. And now I'm like, damn, I really, bit myself, especially because it kind of killed me a little bit. Got a little burned out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, one of the biggest things too is that people they're not doing things that are moving the needle. Mm-hmm. So they could be productive in their mind. They could be working on things, but is it something that's actually going to get you where you want to go, or it's something that you feel like you should be doing?
Being busy is not being productive.
Yeah.
So just because you're doing stuff doesn't mean, like you said, you're moving the needle. Whatever you're doing needs to be something that's either getting some important task done that's going to get a job finished, or it's a task that's going to get you new business.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the reasons why I am too so focused on becoming more efficient all the time. So I'm not saying that my processes are perfect by any means. I'm constantly evolving them. But I don't want to waste my own damn time. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing. They're just sitting there wasting their own time.
I wonder if you should...
And then they're like, I'm so busy. I can't work out. I can't eat healthy. I can't do this. And I'm like, can you not? Now, there are some genuinely really busy people out there, but their numbers also reflect that.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to teach, we have a whole breakdown of a productivity course.
I don't know if people would like my productivity though, because I'm old school. I use Excel sheets. Everything's on different Excel sheets.
Well, it doesn't mean you can't adapt it to something new, but the whole idea and process. I don't know. I mean, maybe people want to hear
I'm like
a full,
super visual,
detailed breakdown of how you do.
Yeah. I don't know.
They might be too much.
It's a lot. And my brain, like I've sent my pipeline, like the way that I structure it on Excel to people, and they're like, I can't even figure that out. So, it works for my brain. So that's one of the things. My way is not probably perfect for everybody, but figure out what works best for you. Take the time. So that was another thing. I spent a lot of time coming up with structures, with creating templates for emails, with, the way that I do everything to stay in front of people. And it took a lot of time on the front end, but then it's very quick now because I'm so used to it.
No, that's awesome. Anything else about productivity?
Well, I would say, it's hard to time block in this industry, but especially if you do have assistants and you can carve out that time to block your time. So if I'm sitting like just this, and this is just me, if I'm sitting at my desk and I'm trying to come up with content ideas, nothing is ever going to happen. I will sit there all day wasting time because I'm just not going to be in that right creative mindset.
Right.
So
especially if you have other work that needs to get done, it's in the back of your head.
Well, my loan stuff is usually done if I'm trying to get that done. So my loan stuff is done, or I'm waiting on things, and I can't get creative if I'm just sitting at my desk. I just can't do it. So I'll go and start painting a wall in my house in the middle of the day, or I'll go for a walk, or like my best ideas come Sunday morning when I'm drinking coffee in my bed watching Discovery Channel. And I can just get it all down. So just figure out what works best for you. It doesn't have to be conventional. I think everybody's so stuck on the 9-to-5 society workplace that they're not thinking that it can exist other times. I might work out at noon or go do something with the kids, and then I'll work at nighttime because that's when I feel creative.
And I do some of my best work in my bed.
Yeah.
With my laptop, just cruising through ideas, getting stuff, putting it out, editing stuff, or just all kinds of things.
And that's why we got separate rooms, because he'll do that at 2:00 in the morning.
I might.
Because it's wherever creativity sparks.
Or I just tell you I'm doing that and I'm playing Rocket League.
Oh, I know the difference.
But it's on my own time, not during work time.
It's in your room. I don't care anymore.
Oh,
but
gosh.
when we shared a room, gosh, shut up.
No, that's awesome. And if there are things that need to be time blocked, then you have to do them outside of normal working hours. It's the only way. Whether it's weekends, whether it's nights, whether it's mornings, if things have to get done that you keep pushing off because fires keep happening, then you have to choose a time where fires normally don't happen to get it done. And if you don't do that, it's going to be hard to move the needle.
And like we said earlier, that's one of the reasons why we stopped doing like the really low credit score stuff. There's so many fires, and how many loans am I passing up? Now, that comes with like a caveat. If somebody like really needs help, I will figure it out, of course. But there are a lot of people that just are not going to get there.
Right. And like, when do I do almost all of my filming? Weekends.
Weekends, yeah.
Because I have way less distractions. And so just pick times in between going out and doing stuff or running errands or hanging out with the family or just relaxing. Just like, oh, this will be a great time to carve out a couple hours and just knock out a bunch of videos because I'm not going to be interrupted.
Yep.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Anything else on productivity?
I don't think so. Just stop getting in your own way.
Yeah.
I think that's what most of it is. People are getting in their own way, and they just need to find a way out. I feel like this is like so judgmental, but it's not. I have to audit myself all the time.
100%.
All the time.
Yeah. Sometimes multiple times in a day.
Yeah.
If you're just like, oh, I am not on track. I know for me, deadlines, I excel with deadlines and pressure.
Yeah.
And if I don't have that, it's easy for me to procrastinate. But once I have that pressure, it's like, game on, baby.
That's why I lie to you about deadlines.
Well, that's why you take all the money out of my bank account. So I think I'm broke and I'm like, oh, God, I got to hustle.
Yeah. You know my tricks.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for watching this episode of the LO Code podcast. If you want to learn more about us or some of the free resources we have for marketing, go to thelocode.com, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.